My dad threatened to cut off my tuition if I skipped my brother's wedding. So I dropped a truth bomb no one saw coming. Growing up, I was the invisible kid. My older brother, let's call him David, was the golden child. Straight A's, football captain, mom's favorite, dad's pride. If he was a trophy, I was the box it came in. Family dinners revolved around his achievements. On birthdays, he got a cake. I got a happy birthday. Even when I got into a top-tier university with a full scholarship, my dad's response was, "Good. That's less I have to pay." Fast forward a couple years. I'm in my second year of university, juggling classes and freelance coding gigs to get by. My dad still contributed to tuition, but used it like a leash. Then came the wedding. David was marrying his high school sweetheart. Big venue. Designer suits. Magazine-worthy aesthetics. I wasn't invited to the rehearsal dinner. Wasn't asked to help with planning. Just expected to show up, clap on cue, and smile. Honestly, I didn't want to go. Not because I dislike weddings, but because I was sick of playing an extra in the movie of David's life. So, I told my dad I might not attend. His reply: "If you don't show up, I'm cutting your tuition." No discussion. No empathy. Just control. But what he didn't know was, over the past year, my side gigs had evolved. Casual freelance jobs turned into contracts. Contracts into consistent clients. Eventually, I was earning more than enough. Not just to survive, but to thrive. In fact, I was already making more than David. So I told him, "Sure. I'll be there." And I meant it. Wedding day. Everyone was decked out in luxury. I walked in alone, wearing a simple but sharp suit. Not flashy. Just focused. As expected, barely anyone noticed. Same old story. The ceremony passed. Reception began. Speeches were made. Best man, maid of honor. Then the DJ announced, if anyone else would like to say a few words, the mic's open. I stood up. Confusion rippled through the room. My dad looked stunned. David's face tightened. I stepped up to the mic. "Hi, I'm David's younger sibling. I wasn't planning on speaking, but I want to say thank you, not just to the couple, but to my family. Especially my dad. Because growing up as the background character gave me the space to build something real. I worked hard. I started a business. Paid off my own tuition. Actually, I've been financially independent for a while now. And, fun fact, I am earning more than David. Not that it's a competition. But hey, not bad for the forgotten kid, right?" Silence. Not a breath. Then murmurs. Awkward chuckles. I looked at my dad. Frozen. My mom looked like she'd seen a ghost. David looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. I wrapped it up. Thanks for the low expectations. The silence. It pushed me harder than any praise ever could. Cheers. I handed the mic back. Walked off. No drama. Just a quiet exit. Grabbed a slice of cake, nodded to the DJ, and left. That moment wasn't for applause. It was for closure. Later that night, I turned off my phone and slept with a peace no amount of money could buy. Since then, the fallout's been satisfying. My dad called. I ignored it. My mom texted about embarrassing the family. I left her on read. Even David messaged, saying I was out of line. Out of line? No. For the first time in my life, I was walking my own line. Got my pace, my direction, my power. Oh, and I recently signed a 6-figure deal with a startup. Thinking about moving somewhere sunny. Update: a few months after the wedding, my parents came crawling back. I guess the silent kid finally got loud enough to be heard. My mom showed up at my apartment with a tin of cookies, like that would erase years of neglect. She started with the classic, "We didn't know you were doing so well." Yeah. Because they never asked. Then came the real reason for my mom's surprise visit. They wanted me to help David. Turns out, he just lost a major job opportunity after his company went through layoffs. With a new house, wedding bills, and honeymoon debt piling up, he was struggling. And now, suddenly, I wasn't invisible. I was useful. Naturally, my dad was livid. According to him, my little speech at the wedding had destroyed David's professional image. Translation: we spent your whole life ignoring you, and now we'd like your money. I just smiled and asked, Mom, would you be here asking for help if I were still broke? She didn't respond. I told her I'd think about it. And I did. Just not in the way she hoped. I drafted a separate email for each of them. One to my parents, one to David. No anger, no drama. Just clarity. I told them I wouldn't be offering any financial help. I wasn't being cruel. I was simply done. I built everything on my own, and they'd made it very clear over the years where I stood in the family hierarchy. I closed the message with this. This isn't revenge. It's relief. I don't owe you anything, and you never treated me like someone worth believing in. I'll be polite if we cross paths, but that's where it ends. Then I blocked them. Phone. Social media. Email. Gone. A month later, I relocated to a new city. Signed a lease on a sleek downtown loft. Took a contract with a Berlin-based firm. Started learning German. Made new friends. For the first time, I was building a life without the invisible weight of their approval. But here's the kicker. A few weeks ago, a family friend reached out. Apparently, my parents have been telling everyone I had some sort of mental breakdown. That's why I acted out at the wedding. I laughed. If finally standing up for yourself after 2 decades of silence is a breakdown, then I hope more people have one. Now, for the real update. Last week, I launched my own startup. Fully funded. Fully mine. I hired 2 of my college friends. A few days ago, we landed our first major investor. Meanwhile, David's drowning in credit card debt and leaning on my dad for support. And me. I'm flying first class to Tokyo next week for a pitch meeting. No, I didn't invite my family to celebrate. Some people are best loved from afar. Or not at all. Moral of the story. Never shrink yourself for people who only clap when it serves them. And never go to war with the quiet one. They've been watching, learning, and preparing all along.